Ladies and gentlemen, man, can you believe it? Today is the 875th edition of the legendary Nerd-o-Roundtable on Nerd-o-Rama. Yes, can I get an amen? No amen? All right.
Gotta add us into the conversation.
Do I? Well, then, fuck. Let's go. You already know who's here. I am talking about the legendary knight, Thomas Talking Cunningham, who you just heard.
Hello, everybody.
Ryan Twitch Master McBain.
Hello, what's cracking, y'all?
Mo Too Black Too Strong O'Kelly.
What if he doesn't survive? He's worth a lot to me.
The Empire will compensate you if he dies. Put him in.
Dr. Liz for the freeway.
Happy Founders Day, Soars.
Y'all
did it last week.
Liz, you can't leave it out there. You have to explain it for the audience.
Yeah, that's a day early. That's why you got that green foam cover on your thing.
Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated was founded 1908, January 15, 1908, in Minor Hall on the campus of, actually in the attic of Minor Hall, on the campus of Howard University. And we will be 114 years old tomorrow.
Amen. Congratulations.
There it is.
Congratulations to you and all
The
your
oldest sorority.
sorors.
Hooray. Are you drinking Ivy juice?
I'm not.
Last
Are you
but
allowed
not
to drink
least,
that on Founders Day?
I know,
Man.
I know that's right.
we got Anthony from Two Cubicles Down.
Oh, thank you, T. Saving the best for last for everybody out there.
Man, that's what it TI is. All right, so for this 875th magnanimous, magnificent episode of Nerd-o-Rama, we are going to lay waste to the show that we said wasn't going anywhere. And yeah, it's not going anywhere. I am talking about the brochure of Old Buffett, aka Boba Fett. Why are they doing it? Maybe we'll get a little Peacemaker in there. But last week, we were trying to tell y'all this shit wasn't going anywhere. And to their credit, our resident hardcore Star Wars fans disagreed. Ryan Twitchmaster McBain, I would like to find out first from you, how has this show been developing, good sir?
Okay, so I was willing to give this show a chance. I wanted it to breathe. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to cast judgment after 2 episodes. Well, that time has passed, y'all. This show, it ain't it, Chief. They have turned Boba Fett.
He said let it breathe like fine wine.
Yeah.
Was it 99-cent wine?
The wine you're drinking right now. That's what it's
Box
Not wine.
That was a $2 chuck.
They have turned Boba Fett into some type of hippie cuck. That's the best way I can describe it. I said it. He acts like he doesn't understand how the crime world works. And it seems like he's never even been to Tatooine. He's just like confused. Like every time someone tries to kill him, he goes, okay, well, we're not going to kill them. First, it's the mayor who's behind it. Then it's not the mayor. Then it is the mayor. And also, you know what really pissed me off about this episode? I'm fucking going nuts right now. How did that big ass black Wookiee sneak into Jabba's palace? Nobody hurt his ass whatsoever. Nobody's guarding Boba Fett in his tank. It'd be like me sneaking into Mo Kelly's house. Nobody hearing my big ass. I'm a big ass motherfucker. Nobody hear my ass.
Don't bark.
Dogs don't bark, no nothing. I start choking Mo. I'm like, what? Nobody's gonna guard. That's your boss. No one's gonna guard him. Really? Really?
I mean,
And there's so many people, right? And all those people, there were so many people.
Look, he just hired the biker gang from Tatooine. Like, how did they
That
let
was
that happen?
that was a biker game from West Side Story.
I'll tell you
Serious.
what really got me is they're going after the mayor's assistant when they find out the mayor's behind it. They catch him. Boba Fett gets all the information he needs out of him. You're a crime boss. Do you kill him? No. Just lets him go.
Make an
What the
example.
He lets
hell?
everyone
Wait,
go. Even
can I
even
ask-
Black Chrysanthemum, who tried to kill him, he said, "You know what? It's all good. No harm, no foul."
What is it with the Star Wars universe and annoying, petulant bureaucrats? Like, the Phantom Menace was an exercise in douchebag pencil pushers messing things up. And now you've got, as the kind of maybe sort of antagonist, is the mayor?
This
He
is
has
what
zoning meetings?
this is what gets me the most about this show. It's to the point now that when Boba Fett has his helmet on, it feels weird because it's always off. All right.
He actually has other things on his head.
Well, he's got
Yeah.
COPD, so he can't keep that mask on.
Look, this
Gotta let it-
this show is an absolute clusterfuck. But Anthony, everyone
Ryan
wants
is
to
just
know,
retired
how
to
does
his
this show compare? How does this show compare to the legendary Ninth Jedi? I've been getting hit up nonstop.
Oh
like,
my
I
God.
need to know
Listen.
where this ranks.
It doesn't. It's honestly, it's spiraling the turd bowl right now. Like
Oh,
when he
goodness.
goes and picks up the cyberpunks at the fucking the cyberpunks hanging outside trying to stay warm at a barrel, and then they got those, and then he rolls up to I'm gonna fucking call it City Hall because that's where the mayor's at. He rolls up to City Hall and they're fucking in their Vespas. Like, give me a fucking break. What
So-
the hell was
The
that?
And they're so
costumes are
colorful
so
too.
bad.
It was
I'm
so
gonna-
bad. I'm sitting there looking at it like, what, like did they had like leftover Cyberpunk, was it 2077 footage lying around for this film? And what finished me off this was the twins tried to kill him. They admitted to it. And then
The
they
Hutt
brought
twins,
him a
yes.
gift. And then they brought him a gift. Like, oh, hey, sorry, we fucked up. You're still alive. Take this Rancor gift. Do with our gladiator or whatever you want. And he's like, hey, you know what? All right, everybody just go home. Just, you do you take off. You're cool. I'll take the Rancor and we'll call it even. He should have blasted everybody right there on the spot.
And took the
You know,
rank.
I love
And
Danny
took the
Trejo
Rancor,
too.
like, hey,
but
thanks.
come
You're
on.
dead. You're dead.
How
You're dead.
long was
Your
that
whole little,
scene, though?
what is it? Your whole little litter of guys carrying you all around. You're all with me now.
Okay, but how long was that scene when they made the weapon? I was like, can we speed this up?
Montage.
You're back on the weapon episode.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're on episode 2 still.
Wait,
Oh,
this is
oh,
episode
you're on
three.
episode
No, I've
2.
seen it all, but I was like, this is ridiculous. Like,
Let me just
speed this up.
let me just say this. When I was in high school and Empire Strikes Back came out, I went with my drama club friends, the International Thespian Society, ITS. And so we had a bunch of us, and we were like those people who stood in lines back when standing in lines for a movie before Black Friday. That was actually a thing where people would stand online for hours. And we went to go see The Empire Strikes Back. And no, there is another. And my friend, who is now a practicing attorney in Las Vegas, jumped up and yelled at the top of his lungs, Boba Fett's the next Jedi! And that's how hyped he was for this character, that Boba Fett, this character shrouded in mystery, he was certain that Boba Fett's the next Jedi. And we went out to Baker Square or Coat of Arms, which were diners in the Chicago area, and ate pie and whatever. And he passionately told us how this character was so important and so iconic that for the Return of the Jedi, it was going to end up being Boba Fett. Now, we all know that that's not true. And in fact, it was Princess Leia. But what we got is that Ryan, no reaction to that. I fed that to you. I guess you're so
Brian is so
nonplussed.
disgusted.
He
He's
is so
dejected
disgusted
right now.
But it really says something about this character when we watch The Mandalorian for a guy who just had a helmet that was close to Boba Fett, and it turned into 2 seasons of anticipation. And then when they announced the Book of Boba Fett, I actually thought that was season 3 of The Mandalorian, that Boba Fett was like, we're transitioning off of the main Mandalorian, and we're going now to Boba Fett because Boba Fett's the king Mandalorian. And then in the trailers, I was like, oh, great. So his helmet's off. So they're showing us that it's the guy. It's the guy from the prequels.
Yes.
Mhm.
But then it's like, to Ryan's point, where your helmet at, bro? Like, there's so many characters in, like, the stormtroopers all had helmets. Darth Vader had helmets. When you have a helmet, it's like an iconic part of who you are as a character. You're shrouded in mystery. And this guy kind of looks like a Bond henchman who's sitting at the boss's table.
Timothy
kind of.
Oliphant from Mandalorian. That's what he seems like. Some guy who's wearing the armor, who doesn't deserve it, didn't come by it, honestly.
Right. Or like the
Just
guy
came up on
in
it.
Solo, who was the douchebag dude in Solo, who was the big villain, who was like where it's like, is he really the big villain?
Bettany?
Yeah,
Paul
Paul Bettany.
Bettany.
Is he
Vision.
really
This-
nefarious or
this
like
series
I don't know.
Is gonna have to have a huge bomb, an atomic bomb reveal somewhere down the line.
No.
You
too
know,
late.
you know.
And it's
Unfortunately,
not
I
looking
don't know
like
if it can.
Yeah.
There's literally, when this is happening, what atomic bomb reveal can they have? I don't care if Luke Skywalker shows up in this. It almost doesn't matter. We've already seen him. He's already, showed his ass off in the Mandalorian.
Right.
There's little to nothing that you could do in this series to make it make sense. You can't have Harrison Ford come in and be like, I'm still alive, Boba, you never turned me in. There's nothing that you can do with the existing characters. They're all way too old for the timeline that this is happening. You can maybe recast them. Maybe you can have Daniel Glover's Billy D show up. Lando show up. I don't know, but if they save something like that, which arguably will maybe be in the end, this show isn't gonna make it. This show right now is operating to the detriment of the legacy of what they started and what they've been creating. And I don't even know why they're announcing that they're going to do another spin-off Mandalorian series with Bo-Katan. Why? This is killing even the need for a third season of The Mandalorian.
If
At
I
this
could jump in
point,
there,
where do we go?
there are two things I think which are wrong with this series. There's the problem of this not being actually Boba Fett from where I sit. It's not who we remember. It's not who we wanted to see. It's not who we expected to see. And the series overall, I would say, is very un-Star Wars like. If you look at episode 4, New Hope, you have that trench scene. There's always like or in Phantom Menace, you have the pod racing scene, or Return of the Jedi, you have the indoor forest scene. We had this slow speed chase on Tatooine around the mall, like was like the open air Slauson swap meet, going at 4 miles an hour
on Rascals.
Yeah, I mean,
Special
Vespa
effects
couldn't
were
keep
bad
up.
too.
It looked like a scene out of The Outsiders or something. I just couldn't
And
describe
the
it. It was
droid.
nothing.
Don't you
That was
defame
like-
The Outsiders like that. The Outsiders is an iconic piece of 80s YA cinema.
And their speeders were so colorful too. Isn't that nice?
Bro.
What is that?
Where do they buy
What-
them shits
Oh
at?
my
What type
God.
of gang is this that's operating with
Came right out of
pastel
Greece.
speeders?
It's fucking West Side Story.
This is
And Rainbow
No,
Bright
this is
shit.
Greece.
Summer
No,
love.
it's
Greece.
Man.
no. This is
Yes.
much closer to Wake Me Up Before You Go to Tatooine.
Wake me up.
God damn it.
And you want to know what made it even worse? I think the thing that made this episode even worse, it was directed by Robert Rodriguez again.
Yeah.
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 And
He should know better.
yeah. And
Well,
that
that's why
fight
Danny
scene
Trejo is
was
in
so fucking stupid.
That is why he was in it.
Like, I was yelling at my TV when they were trying to fight the Wookiee. Like, why is the guy with the blaster walking up to the Wookiee? Like, you have a blaster, you stay at a distance. That's like henchman 101.
Again, the
Well,
fact
but
that
you have to
the
realize,
fact we're
Anthony, that
dealing
he
with-
couldn't see the Wookiee just like the security guards in.
Apparently.
Yeah, there's one eye.
The
It's
problem,
like a
the
sneak
in
problem
there.
with the whole Wookiee fight is we were told long ago that Wookiees straight up have the ability to just pull someone's arms off.
Yep, right out of
Why
him.
was this Wookiee struggling to fight an aged Boba Fett, much less 3 or 4 punk ass kids who can't wipe their own ass with their laser hands? I'm like, are you a weak Wookiee? What, you're supposed to be known as a gladiator.
fascinating.
Black Chrysanthemum
Wait.
wasn't shit.
I
He wasn't
can't
shit.
I can't let that pass, being the portmanteauologist that I am. a weak Wookiee is a weakie.
Okay.
I'm not even giving you a rim
When
shot
it
for that.
real goes wrong.
I don't know. Maybe he wanted him to suffer, like the show's making me suffer.
What
So
day is this?
No, not that. Why did you have to lift? Why did you have to take him out of the tub? Why did you just shoot him through the damn tub?
I don't know why
He's
were
in
there
the bacta
guards
tank. Why
watching
did you
him?
have to open it up to fight him?
Did they forget that this was filmed in 2021? Because the drones and the turning around, I was like, oh, we going back to like Star Wars, like 19, like.
Well, but this is
I'm not-
after
look,
the
if-
trilogy,
if
right?
it was
that's
Star
part of the
Wars,
challenge.
I'd be okay, but it's not Star Wars. This is so poorly made.
The
Again,
costumes,
Mo
ugh.
called it when he said that this was the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. of the Star Wars world, where you may have the licensing to the Star Wars characters, but you have none of the budget and none of the real connection, and you're trying to force us on some shit like, oh, there's a Rancor. No, the Rancor fucking thrill is over. You know, don't try to bring in a Rancor like we're supposed to be like, oh, no, and then you give us this. No, Rancors are actually sweet once you get to know them. What are we doing right now?
It's
Why
watering
wouldn't
down
they
everything.
have a
Sweeter,
bu-
kinder
See, why
Boba
wouldn't they
Fett.
have a budget? Like, to me,
Can
that's bizarre. They should
Can we
have
call
a
them? Can we
budget.
call this the Inhumans of the
Yeah.
Star Wars universe? Because I
Yes, that's
actually
fair.
liked a couple
Yeah.
of seasons of Agents of Shield, but the
'Cause I mean,
Inhumans
I
was
remember
just
saying that
irredeemable
last
trash.
week.
I got you.
Like, this
I
isn't
got
the
you.
Inhumans.
I'll give it that. I'll give it that. Yeah,
And you know-
definitely that.
I
But
think
this is so bad.
what it's
I would-
also suffering from is you got to think for Mandalorian 1 and 2, Helmet was on the entire time, and
Right.
Pedro Pascal is bitching and complaining about that.
Yeah, said that last week. I said that last week.
And I think they're kind of becoming like, hey, well, if Pedro Pascal and everybody was bitching about him having his helmet, how about we have Timura, take his off all the time? And I think they're trying to Boba had his helmet on the entire time. Like, you take it or leave that shit.
I think it was shade to the former actor
But,
to be
but wait,
like,
maybe,
for
I
how
don't know. I don't know.
discontent.
Even when he's
be
on the throne, like, dude, you're like talking to people. You're supposed to have a symbol of
a
strength.
menace, yeah.
Yeah, like,
A
dude,
crown.
raise your
Whole
helmet
point.
off.
You
That's
knew
your
who he
crown, bro.
was, but you didn't know who he was. You wouldn't be able to just pick him out.
But let's be clear.
Well, no, not only that though.
This
Remember
guy
though,
is
the
not a
kids when he ran
star.
up on him, they were weak. He said, "I'm Boba Fett." They said, "And?"
And
Right.
yeah,
Fucking
didn't do
punk
shit.
ass kids said, "And?"
Would have shot one of them just out of saying that.
Listen, the whole reason the MCU, everybody in the MCU had a magical retractable mask is that you had stars. People want to see Robert Downey Jr. They don't want to see a flat gold and red face reciting lines. Same thing with Tom Holland. As an actor is expressive, but if you are not a star, there's no reason to take. James Earl Jones didn't take off the mask because it wasn't James Earl Jones. but
neither does Pedro Pascal.
No, but I'm
All-
saying even
yeah.
he was slightly bigger because of, well, not because of Wonder Woman, but whatever.
No, but he was
Oh,
still a
Jesus.
name actor.
He was a
Yeah, he
name
was a name.
actor. This guy was the body. He wasn't even the original Boba Fett. You
Trivia
literally
answer.
could have put anybody in that suit and put a vocal modifier on them to make them sound enough like the original Boba Fett and gotten the exact same effect. This guy just looks old. And to your point, Boba Fett, everybody else, this isn't so far after the events of the first movies that he should be moving like he is. And the throwaway that he was in the Sarlacc pit and so his body's damaged, whatever.
You're
You
only
still
5 or
want
6
him to-
years removed.
That's
nothing.
It's still supposed to be Boba Fett, especially when you went through the motions of de-aging and creating a digital Luke. That shows you how close this is supposed to be.
Yeah,
And to have this guy, virtually on a rascal, tooling around, maudlin through Tatooine, it's ridiculous. And it isn't Boba Fett. Boba Fett was, up until the point that he got knocked into the sand pit, or the Sarlacc pit, he was supposed to be this incredible badass. And there isn't a character on the Bad Batch or the series with
Rebels?
Rebels.
Clone Wars?
Rebels that
Rebels,
that
Clone
isn't
Wars, any of them.
more
Yeah.
right. Clone Wars that isn't a bigger badass than this Boba.
I mean, look,
He was
when
the
this
king of the
dude
bounty
gets-
hunters.
When this dude
Right.
fucking goes and you knew it was coming, that he gets on his damn Wookiee elephant horn thing or whatever and goes on a sojourn to talk to the damn spice dealers who tell him, well, maybe we don't deal with you. We're already getting shook down. What are you gonna do? We don't go get out of here. Get out of here, kid. What I'm saying? Like he the damn spice lord or whatever sent him on his way. Then he goes back and his people are dead. So I'm like, well, I knew they were all going to die. You telegraphed that shit from the minute you gave him a fucking black cloak and his spear thing. I was like, so they're all gonna die. Is this a point where you get revenge? I don't know. I don't care. There's not enough happening in this series for it to matter.
The end says that they're preparing for war.
Yeah, and I don't care.
So clearly,
against who?
No.
The card game? They're preparing.
They're preparing for Boar.
Oh Lord.
Well, next season. Well, next episode.
I earned that one.
Next episode, they'll be fighting somebody, or a whole episode of preparing for war.
He's going to take his insure.
They're going to be charging their rascals.
Yeah, he's going to be drinking his insurance and eating his Activia.
Again, you know what? I'm trying to figure this out though. Also, does he have a knockoff Bacta tank? Because Luke had his ass handed to him. He was in and out of that thing and in fighting shape. He got beat up by a tauntaun. By a wampa and left in the snow. They put him in the tank. He was cool. He got his ass handed to him by Darth Vader. They put him in the tank. He was cool. I'm like, yo, this dude was, unless he was in that Sarlacc pit 4 or 5 years, which doesn't make sense. I don't know how that's happening. Him getting out of there seemed like it was relatively easy. Like his suit hadn't been decayed. The other stormtrooper in there was still, slowly being digested. What the fuck is going on with this dude?
Okay, but let's ask the big questions. If you're in somebody's stomach for 5 years, what are you eating? What are you drinking?
5 days.
Days. Oh, I was supposed to say
5 years.
No. I thought it was 5 years. Is it 5 days?
No, because
the stomach acid alone, he should have been done.
Here's the dead giveaway of the time period it took place in, because as he's getting out of the Sarlacc pit, he looks up and he sees the Millennium Falcon flying away.
Oh, so it was that is
hours.
That the same afternoon?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now, did you
I gotta go back and watch that because I totally missed the Millennium Falcon.
It ain't worth watching again, dog.
Did you see the Patton Oswalt? Did you see the Patton Oswalt rant from Parks and Rec?
Yeah, I put it in chat. Yeah.
Oh, you put it in the chat. Did the rest of you all watch it?
Yeah.
Yep.
That was absolutely amazing. That one rant was more enjoyable than any episode of this show.
That is probably where they got the intro from. Filoni and Favreau probably saw that and like, hey, that sounds like a good idea.
Yet why they didn't include the Marvel stuff to actually make it interesting is the big question, because I loved all that shit. I was like, so meanwhile, this means they're in the same universe and he can create a time portal. It's just like,
I so badly want this to win because
the shoes are incredible.
Knock against
the damn shoes.
Adidas came out with some shoes, some Boba Fett shoes.
For Boba Fett shoes.
Anything
that damages the Star Wars brand when they were on a trajectory of turning things around via the televised universe. The films had already jumped the shark. We know that. There was almost no going back to the films. There's nothing else to even tell for the films. And I'm fearful that if they do actually go back and revisit the Old Republic, it's not going to be a good storyline. It's not going to be a good trilogy. So far, nothing that's happening now makes me think that they have enough stories to tell. Maybe it's just that they don't have enough stories to tell about old people and they don't know how to yet introduce us to new characters. But then that's not true because they gave us the Mandalorian. So I don't know what the fuck is happening.
All the legacy characters.
Where are we at with this?
Well, they also gave you the Bad Batch. They
pretty much ruined.
True.
I mean,
unethical.
It's just, I don't know. You guys have been far bigger Star Wars fans.
Not me, Tom. And
I'm just saying,
turned me off. Even more. Star Wars has me always going up and down, up and down. It is so unpredictable, so it's not dependable at all. I am not a Star Wars sticker, and I'm all for Star. No,
The
I'll
animated
watch
series
it.
are flawless. Their animated series are all flawless. They
and the
have
problem
not
is
fucked
the
up with
same
any of the
I
director.
loved those shorts that they had. The original Clone Wars shorts.
Oh yeah.
I thought those were amazing. I still the Mace Windu episode on that planet with the earthquake machine.
Oh, he
are
hit that
still-
dab, knocked them
that
all
is-
out.
That is peak Star Wars to me, because that was a real reflection of the potential of what Jedis could and should do. Since in the movies, for the most part, certainly the original trilogy, they were a dying breed that were relatively easily dispatched. And so here you have Sam Jack. I mean, so of course he was going to be a badass, being tearing armies of robots apart with a wave of his hand. That was amazing storytelling. And
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about. I mean, The Mandalorian did a creditable job and of creating some mythos that people who are fans of the shows actually enjoyed. And now we've got what should have been a slam dunk with an iconic character that you didn't have to stick to in casting. You could have legitimately, just like they, used any person you wanted to be the physical person. Some
Yeah.
Star Wars enthusiasts to embody this, and then get either use their real voice or dub somebody in to make it work. And they just went in a totally different direction. I would like, before we get on to, because obviously that everybody's on the same page on Boba Fett, I would like to give props to Mo and Tawala and Anthony for pushing me into the Expanse universe.
My man.
I'm going to tell our viewers.
Where you at?
I am at the beginning. I'm at the top of season 4. And so what I will tell the viewers is that I came out with a very bold statement saying that Discovery for me was my favorite Star Trek series. It still is my favorite Star Trek series, just owing to the way that it's formatted and structured. But the thing I really like about The Expanse is that it is committed to an arc which is framed by all of the books. So they're not trying to come up with cute little distractions or things like that. It's like, it's just going. And the way they transition from season to season, even from episode to episode, every single episode ends on a cliffhanger, and every season just more or less seamlessly transitions. So to be able to binge it and watch the end of season 3 and immediately jump to season 4, it is a little disconcerting because of there's a little bit of a time jump in there, but it still flows as a story, and it's easy to keep track because I didn't have to wait a year. And I'm just really, 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 really enjoying it in a way that I wasn't expecting to, because I was telling Mo earlier, the way we have grown accustomed to being fed sci-fi is that there's mostly single episodes. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end to each episode. Maybe you get a 2 or 3 episode arc. Maybe in a show that ran as long as The Next Generation, you get recurring characters like Q and the Borg. So you revisit themes. But up until Discovery, you never had a season-long arc that told a comprehensive story that allowed you to, weave some things in. And The Expanse is the same way. They don't care how long it takes to tell the story because they know what they have with the story. And unlike Game of Thrones and Martin, who, I mean, given the cholesterol alone, we're never going to see the end of this goddamn book series. But
Damn.
Really?
Wow.
He's got a BMI of 97. So I'm just saying The Expanse is playing out. I don't dislike any of the characters. Amos is that motherfucking dude. He's like a man-child, and he gravitates to these strong female presences. In season 3, it became the preacher, female Rick Warren in the future, that he kind of gravitated to. Before that, it was Naomi, obviously. And so they're introducing these characters that you come to care about, and now they have the Martian sergeant who was hardcore, and then a defector, and then semi-core, and now a defector again, and now low-core. She's just on Mars. I'm sure they're going to bring her back.
She ain't done.
No.
Yeah, she couldn't possibly
Bobby.
be because
Yeah.
I saw Bobby actually standing next to chain smoking UNN Secretary General in a preview, so I know she's coming back. But it's just a really, really enjoyable series, and to be a genre fan, when you think about the big ones like obviously Star Trek and all of the spinoffs and Stargate SG-1 and Babylon 5, all of these things which were iconic pieces of spacefaring stuff. The neat thing about The Expanse is it's not all across space. It's really not a bunch of different planets. It's humans on different spaces within this solar system. So it's a lot easier to buy that, even though it would take years and years and years and years to get to these places. We've got that not warp drive by the guy, and they got the drugs you bump into your face, and so they kind of dance around the distances. But since it's all in the solar system and most people don't even have any cognition of how far these things actually are, it's you can roll with it and not feel like, oh, they were literally 2 billion light years away 5 minutes ago, and now they've just used warp drive and now they're here. Or they can instantly teleport like in Discovery at any point in the universe. It sidesteps all of that foo with some very real hard science based stuff, except for sound and vacuum. But other than that, it's really, really cool the way they deal with all of the physics of the stuff, and I really, really enjoy it. So I just wanted to thank you, Mo and Tawala.
Fucking go.
Because it's a good fucking show.
It keeps getting better. Season 5 is pretty awesome. You'll see who Amos. You'll see who Amos.
It increases.
Yeah, you'll see who he gets attracted to in season 5, and then
it's shocking how you think every episode, every season, you think there's nothing else they can tell, and then they say no, the best is yet to come.
But they don't desert. They don't desert the original premise of. You don't think like, did they just go away from this storyline? No. It's still there. They'll bring it back when it's appropriate, but they don't just desert a storyline to go and tell something else.
Right. Like they did even with Thomas Jane. The way they incorporated Thomas Jane's character into season 3, I thought was very well handled. And so, it's an impressive show. More impressive, I think, Tawala, if you want to take us into the second segment.
I mean, look, again, and I'll say this off the top for Peacemaker. If you are a fan of the way James Gunn tells stories, if you're a fan of the way he does character development and the way he just likes to just throw shit at the fan and let it fly and hit everybody and doesn't care, then you'll love this. Me, I'm a fan of James Gunn's storytelling. I was a big fan of Guardians of the Galaxy. I really, really liked the Suicide Squad. And for me, this is the very first time, and I mean the first time in all of DCEU that they have ever successfully transitioned from a motion picture to a television series and made the connectivity between the two so fucking seamless. I'm like, this damn near feels like James Gunn said, no, we're going to keep on filming and we're going to do this Peacemaker series so everyone else can go home except for you, main character, and we're going to bring some other. The way they're doing the story for me is dope. I'm absolutely in love with the shot. To me, I laugh. To me, the racism is hilarious, even though it shouldn't be. It's so out of place and so offensive. Eagly is the best damn thing since Alligator Loki. Like, for me, this show is so slap dick funny. I can't even take it. I can't take it serious.
The Eagle gave him a hug, man.
Gave him a hug, dude.
Eagle hug.
In the car with his tongue hanging out.
Yeah,
dude,
I responded to Eagle Hug. Eagle Hug was epic. Do you realize you said slap dick comedy, right?
Yes.
Not he meant what he said.
No, surely he did, because John Cena spent a 5-minute scene doing slap dick comedy. And apparently the same prosthetic briefs that he wore in the Suicide Squad. So I'm trying to decide, because you know what I'm a huge fan of? Team America World Police. And in many ways, this is like a live action version of Team America World Police. So it's hard for me to say I don't enjoy it. But I've seen 2 episodes and I don't know if I want to watch a third. And partly that's because for me, everybody around John Cena, I get it. Even his super racist, misogynistic dad. But John Cena's physical makeup is so off-putting to me. Everything from the way he walks to his complete inability to dance. In the opening credit sequence.
You didn't like the opening credit sequence?
I
That shit is
think
funny to me.
I think he looks absolutely ridiculous up until the point we get to the end where Eagly is in the foreground with his wings spread, and he's like, I don't know.
When you understand the character like that, like with what they're doing with him, they're like, yo, dude, you are literally MODOK of this series. I don't know if you all saw MODOK, where MODOK was a huge joke to everyone around him throughout the whole series, but that's what made the series work, because it's like, how are you this asinine and unaware of everything going on around you? I think the same writing style applies to what they're doing with this. It's like, yo, this dude is the biggest tool in the world. He is the punching bag of the universe. But I think that they're very aware of this. The show is very self-aware, and they're not trying to hide John Cena's acting, anything. They're playing up the hamminess of how bad and stiff he is. They put him in a character that's stiff and bad.
And that's
I knew exactly what I was getting when I started watching the show. I wasn't surprised.
It's not
he
that I'm
is a
surprised.
Funny actor. I think he's a funny actor. When he was in Trainwreck with
Trainwreck, I thought he was very funny.
Yeah, he is not a serious. He was not good in Fast and the Furious. He wasn't all that.
No, you know what? Yeah. See, the difference with Fast and Furious, what messed him up is he was trying to be serious.
Yeah,
exactly.
He was literally trying to be
that's what it is.
Villain, and it's like, no, he's not what you need to do, dude.
No, this is a good fit for him, and I agree with the MODOK reference. I mentioned MODOK in the chat, and I can't see anybody else doing the role, so maybe that's something, because he created the role on screen in the Suicide Squad, and this is, as you say, it's a direct carryover. And I do like the fact that they've given Viola Davis some additional with her with the daughter, and I love Danielle Parker. And I'm glad that she's getting a storyline in this show, that because they treated her like absolute trash in Orange Is the New Black. That shit still pisses me off. Fuck you, Genji Cohen. So there's stuff to like and there's stuff to enjoy. I just don't know that it's for me, maybe. But I do see, especially on the strength of James Gunn, I do see why this got done, because they needed something light, and none of the other you can't build a show about Ratcatcher, and Polka Dot Man was killed, and you can't afford Idris Elba, and his character isn't going to be light and funny like this anyway. So it makes sense that you go with this guy. It's just,
I think you said it. Like, it may just not be for you. It's like not bad or good. It's just something that, like, this just isn't hitting for me.
Cheap laughs, and that's exactly what this show gives me. I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be
Johnny
totally
Cena's full of cheap laughs.
It's just like,
oh yeah,
I'm constantly going, dude, this motherfucker just said that. It's just like,
I mean, this show is just, it's fart jokes. It's
dick jokes,
juvenile,
racism,
fart jokes,
misogyny.
humor.
I mean, well,
everything.
Even John Cena's a Peacemaker in the Suicide Squad. When he's talking about he'd suck a beach full of dicks.
Dicks.
Like
for freedom.
For freedom.
Yes.
Like,
when they said they were giving him a show, I expected that. I expected that. Every man, woman, and child in the name of freedom. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you know what it is? This is the other thing that I referred to in the chat. It's Johnny's character from Cobra Kai with a cape.
Oh,
he's stuck.
That's fair. Yeah.
In this, everything from his choice of 80s hair bands to calling a chick sweet cheeks and not understanding what it means. and it's got that Cobra Kai self-awareness mojo working. It's like,
Yeah.
we know the 50-year-olds in our audience are getting boners right now. We get it. We know that this is ridiculous. We know that it's karate time.
Well, they make the Cobra Kai references.
Well, it's yeah. I mean, it's there, and so I really like Cobra Kai, and so, but this is like Cobra Kai as written by Trey Parker and Matt Stone, I guess.
Yeah,
and directed by
the fact
James
that,
Gunn.
that he's going into Aquaman fucking fishes.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! I forgot about that.
I mean, that like stuff like that to me. I'm like, I look, that shit makes me laugh, dude. I'm like, yo, dude,
that's why
he disrespect right now.
No, it was funny. That was,
and
funny.
they're all in the same universe. Aquaman's in that universe. So
and Batman,
right. Yeah.
They made references to Batman, and I was like, okay, so
they made a reference to Batman.
Yeah,
I'm like, yo, Batmite is now canon. Like,
wait,
wow,
they said
like.
Oh, I may have missed that. And I may have.
Yeah, like
there's some things to miss.
The dude who's the tech guy who's like, look, I would rather work with Batmite. And he's like, what the fuck is a Batmite?
Oh,
he's like,
nope,
he's
you're right.
interdimensional. I was like, yo, they're literally making shit canon. There's so much that DC can do if they look at what James Gunn did. If they just stop and say, wait a minute, did you see how James Gunn literally connected a film to our television universe? Like, why aren't we doing that with all of our pictures? Why aren't we doing that with the whole universe? Why is everything so disconnected?
Because it would,
that bridge.
Because it would be a colossal fuck up.
Well, I did enjoy the joke.
Worse than it already is.
I did enjoy the joke of Berenstain Bears, and I was like, oh, that's funny, because that's always been a conversation piece on how do you pronounce the name. But as a whole,
spell it.
This is not for me. This show is a painful. I may laugh one or two, and I'm just like this. I didn't like the Suicide Squad. I mean, so this is just like a continuation of. I'm watching it for y'all. I ever watch it.
Hey, Liz, I can see that this would not agree with your sensibilities. I can see, because there are a lot of harsh things that we've referenced that we like that you're like, yeah, no, that's. But you also introduced us to some wild shit. Speaking of which, okay, outside of no, wild in a good way, Liz. Speaking of which, outside of your girl Letitia Wright obviously getting her shit together and them getting Black Panther started again, what else is out there? Because right now all we got is the lameness of Boba Fett.
She's in a ton of movies right now, though. You know, she's in a ton of movies. But I'm saying she's in Sing 2, and she's also in this other movie coming out.
Whatever. None of that matters. It's all about Black Panther. So I'm just happy that they're back on track.
I guess, but are they back on track if they're still positioning that they're never going to recast T'Challa? Because that's just getting more and more stupid.
That movie that production should have wrapped months ago.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, obviously, COVID is impacting everything. I guess, you know,
I don't know. No. I don't know, because they just actually went back and shot a shit ton of bonus scenes and extra footage for Doctor Strange, and they got that done, brought in a whole bunch of extra actors and surprise people, and still managed to wrap it all up.
But see, the difference is those are reshoots.
Right.
Wakanda Forever hasn't finished shooting. They haven't gotten to the reshoot stage.
Yeah,
they haven't wrapped yet.
They're barely.
I don't know if they've gotten past the mid scenes. Shit,
they haven't gotten past the title sequence. What the fuck you heard? So I'm kind of disappointed that they pushed, and maybe I'm the only person on the planet. I'm a bit disappointed that they pushed back Morbius, just because.
Why?
Because
you might as well put it out.
You might as well put it out. I was looking for something to fill the gap before Madness, and now Madness.
You tried heroin? That'd probably be better.
You and your veins and bananas and tailpipes. You're going to put a banana in your vein and turn out with a potassium overdose. But I don't mind, as long as Venom, Tom Hardy Venom is not in it. I don't think I will mind Morbius. I think Jared Leto is a good enough actor. Tyrese was definitely not a thing that I was looking forward to seeing. But if we can get a Vulture tease, and I think what they're doing, maybe the real reason is that they're shooting some shit with Tom Holland in it. If they were smart, you might as well do that.
But what universe is it in? You
Well,
know,
it's in it. Well,
I think it's
they've
in the
said
Venom
it's in
universe.
it is in the Venom verse
Yeah.
because he says I'm Venom, and the guy is scared, and
Yeah,
then he says
yeah.
just kidding.
Yeah.
But again, they could take
Michael
that out of
Keaton's
the
in it.
trailer, and yeah, Michael Keaton is in it, which means it's in the Marvel universe.
so, and they do in the trailers they do put things that aren't in the movie. So
Right. So the Venom
Wait,
thing, which is a horrible throwaway gag.
yes,
Isn't this going to be competing against Is it Batman or the Batman?
The Batman.
that Batman.
Now it's probably going to be competing against
So
the
it's
Batman.
going to be competing against each other, which is going to be like, are we a race to the bottom, or what? Are
No,
we doing?
Sony doesn't care because Sony thinks
Sony doesn't
anything
care.
that they do right now is touched with No Way Home. So they think that their
They're smelling their
universe
own
is
shit
going
right
to
now.
leverage, and they shouldn't be, because literally nobody gives a fuck about Morbius. They care more about Mahershala Ali's one half whispered line in that after credit sequence from the Nocturnals than anything they care about with Morbius. And by the way, just for the record, Eternals is on Disney Plus, and so I gave it another chance. That was not a good idea.
I
it
gave it
wasn't the
one
director's
chance. That was
Absolutely
one too
trash.
many.
And it was not the director's cut. So I
That's
was
coming
like,
out later.
Why?
It's coming out in March. I don't know. I don't know.
Look, it's coming
No,
out.
it's-
Look, I'll watch it.
It's
Shit.
horrible, and the thing is
Yeah,
that
I mean, I know.
in addition,
I don't know why you
the
think it's so horrible.
glaring continuity errors. No, it is horrible because you basically are saying that Eros is Star Fox, is an Eternal, is a robot, is
Is he, though?
Thanos' brother.
Maybe it's a different Eternal. We don't know yet.
Well, all we know is what Arishem told us. And since you cheated us in the credit sequence by lying about the whole origin of the Eternals, only to retrofit it within your same movie and showing us and showing Circe a whole bunch of robot clones that looked exactly like her, despite the fact that they were going to other planets with other forms of intelligent and sentient life, which looked nothing like humans, which makes no fucking sense, then it just blows up so much. And the whole thing about, Sprite had to be a kid, they didn't even answer their own question. It was answered in the comic books, but in the comic books it was just about humanity on Earth. It wasn't this intergalactic police force that was running around just doing bullshit. And $1 billion
they're not an intergalactic police force. They are an intergalactic fucking destroyer.
No, I get it, but you only have to. Arishem says a celestial only needs to be born every 1 billion years. So
Sure.
you've got all of these seeds on all of these planets, and
But-
if it only
but-
takes 7,000 years to gestate,
But no, they
Then-
need the right circumstance. They need the right environment, the right climate. It's like fucking growing a plant. You can't just grow a strawberry anywhere. You have to have the right soil, all that. Earth
so
has
why
the right soil.
why would Arishem, the lead celestial, send so many of his proto future celestials to planets that he knew?
No,
or
but how
suspected
about it's
didn't
like
have
one of those, like, you know what? I'm prospecting. You never know. You never know what's gonna pop out of a planet.
Dude, he's just shooting his load everywhere.
You know,
Yeah,
what I'm
I
saying?
guess you only need one
Arishem is
celestial
a
every.
Rolling Stone.
You've only needed one celestial every billion years. The universe is only 14 billion years old.
That we
Why
know
did this
of.
one
No,
planet,
that we know of.
Why did
to
this one
humans.
planet? Why did this one planet matter? So
Because
much
it
that
matters
turned
all the
into a
time.
thing?
Tom, you know, Earth
Yeah.
That's
matters.
Ultron,
more than
man.
all
Come on,
other
dog.
matters.
Earth always matters.
I know.
Don't do that.
I know that.
You know
I
that.
know that this bullshit was trash. That's what I know.
Okay,
All right,
I mean,
I thought it was
if
okay.
that's
I
the
didn't love
final
it. I thought it was
thing,
okay.
yeah.
I thought it was okay.
You got to know the Earth. The Earth is always the pinnacle planet in all the universe. Just like for some reason or other, New York is where it always jumps off.
Exactly.
Man,
Shit don't never jump off nowhere else on
Yeah.
Earth.
It don't
It's always
jump off
been
in
New
San
York.
Jose.
Wait, it
where my
jumped
San
off
Jose
in
heroes
Hong
at? You know
Kong
what
in
I'm saying?
Godzilla versus
Oh.
Yeah, but
Mecha
that
Godzilla.
didn't last.
Mm.
That didn't
doesn't
last.
count.
No, I'm saying in their current movie. I'm just saying everything. It
And it went
mostly
to
happens
Boston.
in New York.
Yeah,
it was
no,
in
it was
Boston.
Trek.
It was
Boston.
Godzilla.
It was
Boston.
Boston.
Yeah.
And,
Vegas.
and
and Skull Island. So I don't
Never
know.
San Jose,
and-
man.
and
Where are my
Oahu.
San Jose heroes at? That's what I want to know.
They're in Godzilla 1.
yeah, they're.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
because
They were trying.
That's as
The
close as
heroes
you
were trying to get there, but there was a banana in their tailpipe, and they were strung out on heroin.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did
shit.
anybody
always
see
happens.
Naomi? Did anybody see Naomi?
Nah, was that good?
get. No.
No, Omi.
I haven't. Look, I haven't been able to get back to the Flash. Look, I like Batwoman. It's watchable. I don't like it as a superhero show. I just like the show, just the show itself.
Wait.
It's a good show, but
We can't drop Black Joker being the brother of Batwoman, right?
Oh God.
yeah, no, I mean, look, that's what they're going. I mean, they needed
He doesn't
something.
look like Joker though. He
But
looks
no,
like an
no,
underwear model.
he's not supposed to. He's supposed to look
okay.
like some dude. And again, the story is that he, regular kid, Joker.
Yeah, he got
boarded the
jolted
bus.
by the Joker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so whatever. So look, they have to do everything they can because for some reason or other, they will not actually license anything directly Batman to the television universe. They never have. It's always been Batman adjacent, i.e., Gotham
or Bruce Wayne,
and everything
yeah.
else. But say Bruce Wayne, they'll go everywhere around and they'll never give us the villains as they're supposed to be. It's like all these villains, like even on Arrow, all the villains that they give us, I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like, you don't have actual, like, real tangible characters you can use. You're just like piecing shit together that doesn't go together. So Batwoman is like, yeah.
I mean, I feel like
whatever.
it's it has no budget, and so
No
you're
budget.
gonna have to make do. Naomi, you're gonna have to make do with what you get. And so I know that there's a lot of hype. It's trying to stay as accurate, I guess, as you can to the comic, but
That nobody knows.
that no one knows.
But well, I don't know, Tom, because Naomi right now, they're still pushing her as like the future of the funk for the comics. Like right now in Justice League, Naomi's holding her own. She's really holding her own. Shit, she fucking fought Black Adam.
Yeah, no, got it. I understand. I understand what they're trying to do. They also just gave us our first bisexual Superman. I get it.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, they tried to make Ironheart. They tried to make Moon Girl. It's all black girl magic. It's all this black girl is the most powerful, most bestest, most smartest, most whatever. And I guess we'll see. But do I think Naomi is like a new iconic part of the pantheon of DC superheroes? Or do I think she's the rebooted Mr. Terrific as a a young black girl? And I just don't know that I buy
it's not that bad.
that this no, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it feels force-fed and calculated in a way that if you were just to introduce a black, like, okay, so for instance, the original the black Captain Marvel, right? So they introduced this character, Monica Rambeau, and they didn't make her Sentry. They gave her a power set. And they gave her some leadership. And then Captain Marvel came back and she traded and became Photon and Spectrum or whatever. And she's still a badass chick, but they didn't turn her into a goddess. And it's the same thing with Storm. They introduced Storm. Storm was, hamstrung by the claustrophobia stuff. But then by the time she was Mohawk Storm, she was a badass and she could be a leader and she was still this weather chick. And they did make her like, they kicked up her powers. But still in the Marvel universe, she's never going away. Storm is always going to be Storm. She's been around 40 years at this point.
Yeah.
Is Naomi going to be around 40 years from now?
Probably not. But I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this, that Naomi is, I can understand why Ava DuVernay is doing it because it really is a black little girl story.
Sure.
And it is, what bothers me is that Black Lightning, especially the first season and then the last season, was so like captivating. And it was something that you talked about. This was kind of like, it was blasé. It wasn't something that I cared about. The power, you can completely, it's interesting because Black Lightning clearly had a low budget. We talked about the power set being, but it didn't feel as such a low budget. Like this one was like, oh, you low budget. And you're like, we're going to stretch this low budgetism as far as we can go with this sad story. And I think that that's the saddest. I think it's not bad. It's not good.
The special effects kind of remind me of the internet preview footage of Raising Dion before it got turned into a show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I haven't watched Naomi yet, and you just reminded me about the Ava DuVernay piece, which frankly I'm happier that she's tackling this than the New Gods, which probably shouldn't have been made
Now,
anyway.
see, the
but-
only thing I don't like about that though is that they basically said we're taking away this major motion picture opportunity from you, and we're going to give you zero budget and give you a television show.
Zero
But
budget.
ooh, she's a black girl, so
Wait,
you could really
but-
knock that out the park.
But Tawala, was New Gods really a major motion picture opportunity, or
But
was
look,
It was a
the fact that
movie?
They were going to give
No,
her
it wasn't.
a
It
DC
was a
story.
movie. No, I understand.
Yeah.
But let's be clear. How many good DC movies have there been?
But they keep cranking them out. So that's
No,
why
I
I'm saying,
understand,
if they're
but
gonna-
putting-
if they're going to
putting
keep
Ava
cranking them
DuVernay-
out,
and Batman.
You think
shit,
Chloe
they could have gave
Zhao?
her the Flash. You didn't
think
have to give
Chloe
the Flash to
Zhao
whoever the
is-
fuck the Flash has.
You think
You know?
Chloe Zhao is going to be directing Eternals too?
Well, she's been talking
know.
about it.
I don't
No,
know.
I
He shouldn't
understand.
have
I'm
directed
just saying.
Eternals 1.
Well, she shouldn't have. She was frankly.
But my
wasteful
point
on that
is
material.
that Black Lightning to me was like, okay, we have a small budget, but we gonna make it look like big budget. Like we're gonna make an attempt to make it, like they did the first. I think that they did a
they
decent
did. Yeah.
job with what
think
money
they
that
did.
they had.
Yeah. Mhm.
Naomi was like, this is high school film. Even the Superman scene that comes in, it's like, this is just sad. This is like, I filmed this on my iPhone.
You didn't
Like,
see that logo bug? You
Why?
didn't see that logo bug in the lower right hand corner shot on an iPhone?
It feels
Oh,
like
man.
it.
You know,
And part of
it's
it was
interesting.
on an iPhone. They
That's
did
true.
use
You know,
some of it
it's,
on an iPhone.
The most interesting thing about what you're saying, Liz, with Naomi and its budget is the fact that they have announced that they are looking to spin CW as a network,
Right.
which
Yes,
goes to
spin it
which
off.
which can go to say like, hey, they're done. They're not trying
Right.
to put anything else into this. This is what they have already on the calendar. Maybe contractually, they got to get these things out. But it's like, look, Ava, babe, we're gonna give you this money. You're gonna have to put it out with what we got. She's like, what the
We're
fuck are you
done.
talking about? Like, we're done and we're closing up the shop. Everyone's out of here. So like, we got a few folks that can hear. Joe knows how to work a camera. Joe, you got a camera? I got an iPhone. All right, Joe's got an iPhone. Ava, work your magic. Babe,
Make
work
daddy
your
a hit.
magic. Make it happen. All right, we're out of here. The studio's gonna be locked up after 6. So you guys,
When you
guys got-
see the Spider-Man reference, you're going to, it's not Spider-Man, Superman reference, you die laughing. Because
I
this
saw
is
the
gone
trailer
back
and
like
I said, "What was that?"
Supergirl.
I literally saw the trailer. And I said,
This
"Wait,
is
what
like
was that?" I said,
Supergirl
"Oh,
bad.
that was Superman." Oh,
Yeah, it
that's
was.
whack. That's whack. I'm sad for it. I wanted it to win. I was excited when they first announced it. Then I saw the trailer and I said, "Well, I'm a lot less excited." I'm a lot less excited, and I didn't watch it. Like I almost forgot it was out, and then when you said it was out, I was like, "Oh yeah, I gotta watch that." And then I said, "But do I really?" No,
You know they-
no
you know they
disrespect against
paid.
Ava. I love her passion. I love just her ability to capture excellent footage. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying with this, but
I don't know
I just
either.
don't want to diss Ava. I just don't want to diss Ava.
I
I really
know.
want to big the sister up. I really want her to
I
win.
know. I know.
I think
But this is
Ava
not a win.
does. There are things that Ava does that are unquestionably excellent.
Yeah.
But she killed the Wrinkle in Time franchise.
Oh,
Let's be
yo,
clear.
that dead in
Single-handedly.
the water.
She
Dead in
killed
the
it.
water.
And so
Yeah.
you talk about giving her she had her big budget chance, and that should have been a home. Now granted,
She's
I
had
loved
two
A
chances
Wrinkle in
because she
Time.
shouldn't have passed on Iron Man. I mean, Black Panther. She shouldn't have passed.
Glad
Yeah,
she
but
did.
you know
No.
what? I am glad too because
glad
Ryan
she did.
Coogler killed it.
Yeah.
But what I will say is that when you have an iconic as a piece of literature as A Wrinkle in Time was, and granted, it's not the easiest story to tell. It's linear, but it's wacky and it's very scientific, and you have half a chapter dedicated to what the hell a tesseract is and everything else. And so I get it. Very weird imagery, but she killed that franchise. There's what is it? 2 other books at least?
Yeah, at least. at
I think
least.
no, it's a quadrilogy. So there's three sequels that will never be made. And so, putting someone like that into the DC universe when what the DC universe needs is more James Gunns who have a solitary vision of what it is that they want to do and will make it for an audience. Now, granted, James Gunn's version of the Suicide Squad was an unqualified failure in comparison to the original Suicide Squad, partially because of the pandemic, partially because of the tonal shift, and partially because, James Gunn just went balls to the wall and just did a whole lot of crazy shit. But can there be the Suicide Squad 2, or is Peacemaker the closest thing? Peacemaker the closest thing we're ever going? Pacemaker's for Boba Fett. I apologize.
Pacemaker. Yes.
Is Peacemaker is probably the closest thing we're going to get to the Suicide Squad sequel, just because it did so poorly, and we don't know when the movie industry is going to recover.
Oh, it's not. It's not recovering anytime soon.
Tom, I think you made a great point, because when I was watching a Wrinkle in Time, I was thinking like that was Ava's chance to do like Chronicles of Narnia, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, where she could have been the Peter Jackson for those movies and books, and it was a missed moment. So I just wanted to say that. I thought you were spot on with that, Tom.
Yeah, that was it. It was more than a missed moment.
But Peter Jackson, the second movie, was not good.
It doesn't matter. It still made
it's
some
still the
$800, $900 million. That's the thing. And she could have owned that property.
Right.
Yeah. But Artist Foul. But Artist Foul was a foul. Like that didn't make it.
But for the problem with Wrinkle in Time though, and something that she alluded to, is Oprah's overbearing influence on it. Like she would say things that would sound like suggestions, but they weren't really suggestions, because she was heavily involved in the production of that, and Oprah was the one that really brought her on board for that. So she alluded to the fact that she was like, she's like, look, I'm not gonna diss Oprah, but a lot of the direction of it and a lot of what went down is a lot of Oprah influence, and I was starstruck. I was taking her lead and just
okay, but
like, I'm sorry,
Did Oprah do the story rewrites? Come on,
Ava. Hey, no, but look, that story was in development for like almost 2 decades. They have been trying to get that story to film for like forever. Forever they were trying to get that up, and no one had been able to do it until Oprah got the rights to do it and said, "Hey, I want Ava to do it. That's my girl. I want her to do it. I love what she did with Selma. She's the one." Right. And it's like, come on, girl, come on in, Ava. And say, okay, so Ava, I got some suggestions, I got some ideas, and it was like, damn, Oprah telling me what to do. Like, look, I'm gonna tell Oprah no. This is my chance. I ain't gonna tell Oprah no. This is Oprah, So
the way you were talking Oprah is killing me. All my life, I had to fight a woman director. Ain't safe in a house full of men's.
All right, y'all, we got to get out of here. Next week, look, maybe some more Peacemaker. Hopefully something happens in Boba Fett. I don't know.
Ozark.
I do know. Who?
Ozark.
Ozark. 4. I'll try to get with it. I got to get with season 1. Shit.
Liz, you and me, we'll have that thing.
Oh no! Okay, hello! I'm all in on Ozark. Don't leave me out in the cold on that
there
shit.
You go.
There you guys go.
Anthony's not in. We know.
No, I'm not in.
We know Anthony.
You can have a sleepover. There you go.
Why does everything got to be just so nasty?
Because look,
I don't see how anybody cannot get into Ozark.
Look,
I got stories.
If you're not hooked after the first episode of Ozark, then okay. I always say just watch the very first episode of the first season.
It's easier to get into Ozark than it is to get heroin in Ryan's veins.
That easy?
That easy. It is super easy.
It is so stressful.
That heroin.
Ozark stresses me out.
Yes, it's stressful every single episode, the whole way.
Chase that dragon.
Don't ride the white horse.
Sorry. Damn it. Anthony, please take us out, good sir.
Good news, everybody.
Mo Kelly.
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Leela and Multipass. You know this is Multipass. Leela Dallas, my wife.
Dr. Liz.
Courage looks different on every man.
Ooh, nice. Tom is talking Cunningham.
Where is my I'm that guy suit?
McBain.
The book of Boba Fett is bad, but it's still better than The Last Jedi.
Excelsior.